So recently I've been reading this book called The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. In that book, a certain phrase stood out to me more than any other phrase in really any other book. And that is the idea of finding wisdom in uncertainty. Now, obviously, this is very counterintuitive. You'd think that you'd find wisdom in the things that you know, in your comfort zone, in the things that you do every day, that you're used to, that you're accustomed to. But as I read more and more and more, I began to see how I've been applying this in my life without even realizing it. And I'm a living example that there is a lot of wisdom in living in the moment and doing things just because your intuition tells you to, and just having trust and faith in the universe that everything is going to work out in your favor. The first example of this would be when I dropped out of college. At the time I was stuck mentally, I was not there. I wasn't there. And I didn't really see any other way to be successful except for going to college. Because, I had received a lot of conditioning, and obviously, it was on me to look past that conditioning, and I did, and that's kind of why I ended up dropping out. I realized that you don't have to go to college to be successful, but like I said, at the time I was just giving into the pressure that I felt from society to go to college and get a good job, work a 9 to 5, pay off my debt, and live happily ever after, right? But I knew within me that that vision did not serve me. I knew that I was meant for something not better, but something different than that. There's nothing wrong with the 9 to 5 lifestyle if that's what you love to do. But I knew that I didn't love to do that at all. And I knew that I had to take a chance on myself. And I remember I had every intention of at least finishing my freshman year. But then one day I just dropped out. I just went on the website and dropped all of my classes. And it felt so good. It felt so good. Even though I didn't know what I was going to be doing after that, like I had absolutely no clue how I was going to make money or, ensure that I wouldn't have to work a service job like I was accustomed to working at that time. I knew that everything was going to work out. Intuitively, I knew it, I felt it. And that's where YouTube came in. My very first video that I dropped, well, not my first video, but my first video where I was talking on camera was about why I dropped out of college. And when I made that video, I fell in love with it. I just fell in love with making videos and just talking to the camera. And, me growing up as an introvert, a very antisocial, shy person, starting a YouTube channel was also very counterintuitive to what I thought I knew about myself. But I just put myself out there. And I thought that, people were going to judge me for, trying to be a YouTuber or whatever, even though at the time I wasn't. But I just put all my fear aside and just did it. I just did it, and then I fell in love with it. And, that just goes to show that when you take that chance on yourself, all of a sudden, things will just fall into place quickly. I think I made that video probably 2 weeks after I dropped out of college. And it's like, boom, I found my passion just like that. Now, even though I loved doing YouTube, I wasn't making money off of it. For a very long time, I wasn't making money off of it. And eventually I had to go and get another job. And, it sucked. I had to swallow my pride to do that because I really did not want to work anymore. That was the reason why I dropped out of college, was so that I wouldn't have to work. And so for me to go out and have to get this job, it felt like I was taking 5 steps forward and 10 steps back. I swallowed my pride and I got me a job working at H&M, and it was a cool job. I was making more money than I had ever made before. And I got some of my friends to work there with me, and I made friends with a lot of the people that I worked with. And, it was cool. It was a cool, easy job. But at the same time, I never let myself get too comfortable there. I remember when I had an opportunity to get promoted in that job. And I would have been working full-time there, which was like, I think 30 hours a week, and making maybe like a $2 to $3 difference in my hourly pay, which would basically be enough to move out on my own. So I had the opportunity to do that. And I remember I did the interview for it and everything. The interview went well, but my intuition told me, Just wait it out, just stay where you are and just wait it out. And, I was turning down a lot of money. You have to understand that I was turning down a lot of extra money. Even though I didn't like the job, that was a lot of money to turn down, especially for a 19 or 20-year-old. So, I continued to work there up until about March. Now, starting back in January, things began to get a little shaky for me. I took a trip to LA and I got a chance to experience what it was like to be a full-time YouTuber for just a few days. And I realized that that's what I want to do. I want to be a full-time YouTuber. And ever since that trip, I was never able to enjoy working there. And like I said, I didn't like working there in the first place, but at this point, I began to despise working there. Now, I wasn't very good at saving money, so when I decided to quit, I didn't have a lot saved up. And I was still not monetized on YouTube, and really I wasn't even close, if I'm being honest. But I just had to take a leap of faith. I thought back to the time that I dropped out of school and things worked out. And then I realized that I have to do that same thing again. I have to take another risk on myself. I have to bet on myself and trust that the universe is going to put me in the proper position to make my dreams come true. So I quit my job at H&M in March, and I believe I had around $700 saved up. And like I said, I was nowhere close to getting monetized. Nowhere close. And I was scared. I was very scared. On the outside, I tried to make it seem like I wasn't scared, but I was a young 19-year-old dude who had just quit his job, and that was the only source of income that I had. Didn't have a lot of money saved up, and now I was taking a chance on myself. There was a lot of uncertainty in that situation. But fast forward to June, and I end up getting monetized on YouTube. Things happened very quickly for me. Things happened extremely quick. And all it really took was for me to take a chance on myself and just put myself out there, just to let myself fall and trust that the universe is going to catch me. Basically, I'm saying all of this to say that you have to take a chance on yourself. You have to have faith. Faith is having trust in what you cannot see. You believe in something that you can't see with your eyes. You can't perceive with your senses, but you can feel it. You can feel it from within. Your intuition is guiding you in that direction. But in order to do that, in order to take a chance on yourself, you have to let go of your attachments. You have to let go of your attachment to security and comfort. You have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to take a chance on yourself. Like I said, with school, I was a smart student. I was going to graduate from college. And after that, I was probably going to find a decent job, paying me decent money. And I would work 9 to 5, 5 days a week, have the weekends off, and just live the rest of my life that way until I retire. And the same goes with working at H&M. I was making decent money. I could have taken that promotion and just went even deeper into what I already knew, just working retail. So I figured, that would have been a lot of security for me, especially at such a young age. I could have very easily developed attachments to those situations because with those situations, you can see where you're going. You can see the money that you're going to make. You can see, that everyone else is doing this and that it's more realistic. And what you have to understand is that realism is subjective. So you have to let go. You have to detach from the conditioning that you've received and be willing to take a chance on yourself, because attachment is the root of all suffering. If you are attached to a situation that does not serve you on your journey, that contradicts your intuition, you have to learn to let it go. It's as simple as that. You have to learn to let it go if you want to live your best life. Certainty is a prison. It's a prison. Just like your comfort zone. You have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone and go outside of the confines of certainty and what you know, and be willing to put yourself out there. I'm not saying that you have to drop out of school or quit your job to be a YouTuber, but if you have a dream that you want to accomplish, then you need to go after it. You need to put yourself out there. Put yourself in a position where you might fail and you don't have a fallback option. And I guarantee you that you will succeed. And it's very interesting because You would think that certainty would be good for your mental health. You would think that that sense of security would promote good mental health. But for me, having that sense of security actually gave me depression. That was a big part of the reason why I was depressed, is because I knew what was coming in my life. And knowing what's coming to you, knowing exactly where you're going in life, those visions become limitations for you. When you know that, okay, I'm going to get a good job and, work this 9 to 5 and all of that, that becomes a limitation. Now it's like, okay, that's my life. I know how the rest of my life is going to go. And I'm 19 years old. That's depressing. You're not supposed to know how the rest of your life is going to go at such a young age, or really at any age. You shouldn't know how the rest of your life is going to go. That takes away, the spark of life, of enjoying the here and now. It makes it very hard to live in the moment. And I feel like, when I decided to drop out of school, when I decided to quit my job, that was me living completely in the moment, following my intuition. When you follow your intuition, like I said, you can't see it. You can't see it, but you can feel it. And that's all you need. You just need to be able to feel that you are meant for something different. And you need to pursue that. You have to trust the universe and find beauty in the chaos. Once you learn to find beauty in the chaos, what you'll find is that you'll feel more grateful. You'll feel more grateful for all of your accomplishments. Because, for me, like I said, when I quit my job, I didn't know how I was going to make money. And so when I ended up getting monetized on YouTube, I sat in my room and I cried. I was that grateful. I don't think I've ever cried tears of joy before that day. You have to be willing to lose it all in order to gain it all. If you place limitations on what you're willing to lose, then you're placing limitations on what you're able to gain.